Okay, so first of all, thank you very much for joining me this evening. My name is Lucy Pine and I am the chapter coordinator for the Access User Group. I'm the one that sends out the email reminders to you, so when you get emails reminding you of the meetings, they are coming from me. If you have not registered yet with the group, then please do so, and then you will be informed of all future meetings that are to come. I also work at IT Impact in the sales department, alongside Juan Soto and Robert and Ben, who are with us this evening. And it's been a while I've been at this company, really, that I've expanded my knowledge so much with Access. And now I am starting to focus on Power BI. So I'm going to, firstly, I'm just going to see if I can start off now with a brief introduction to Power BI, and then we will get into a demo with creating a dashboard using the data from an Access database where the backend is stored in SQL Server. And from there, I will publish the data to the cloud, where we'll see it in Power BI for Office 365, and take a quick look at how that works. So as I mentioned, if you have any questions, just put them in the chat. That's just the agenda. So what is Power BI? Well, it's a self-service business intelligence that displays interactive dashboards and can be created and updated using many different data sources. It enables end users to design and generate visual reports effortlessly without the need of relying on the IT department. So it just speeds up the process. It gives you increases the ability for end users to create their own reports and dashboards, and allowing them to quickly get answers that they need from the data. So as you can see, you get real-time data. There's different versions of Power BI. You have the free web version, which is with Office 365. That's only available, obviously, for the Office 365 users. There is the desktop version, which anybody can use as long as you have a business email. And finally, there are mobile applications, but I've not actually done much with the mobile application, so I won't be going much into the detail for that today. Okay, and finally there is the Power BI Pro, which is a paid-for version. It costs $9.99 per month. It has a bigger data capacity than the free version. The free version you only get 1 gigabyte. The paid-for version gives you 10. You can get hourly data refresh with the Power BI Pro. With the free version, you just get a daily refresh. I'll show you what I mean about the refresh as we go into that. And then the data streaming is obviously a better quality with the Power BI Pro. So some of the benefits, the business can get visualizations and answers quickly. It's so much easier to communicate and understand the data by presenting it in a visual way. It increases the accuracy with the results by using real-time data, and you can also drill down through the data. So let's get started, and I'll show you where you actually get Power BI. So if we go into the website, which is powerbi.microsoft.com. Okay. And from here, you will go into the products. Here they have a lot of information on this site. They have some great guides and videos where you can get started, and that is all in the technical support section here under the documentation. So it's a great source. If you're new to Power BI, just go in here. This is basically how I learned it. Just going in here and following the videos and having a play around with it myself. Now, for this Power BI version, this is the Office 365. So, sorry, it's gone into Spanish on my side. I'll just go down here. If you get this, you just go down here and select English. So, basically, all you do to get Power BI, if you've got an Office 365, just sign in here. And you just sign in with your Office 365 account, and then you'll be able to get into that. So, to show you what happens. And because I'm already signed in, I think it's just going to take me into, it's taken me straight into my Power BI within my Office 365 account. Now let me show you for the desktop version. This is the one I prefer working with, is the desktop version. I find it so much easier to use. So you just go onto the products and the Power BI desktop and click on the download. Now I will point out here, if you are using a 64-bit system, Windows, then the download will automatically detect that and download you a 64-bit version. Now, in my case, I am actually running 32-bit Access Office on here, and because I want to link with that data, I need the 32-bit Power BI. So what I will do is I'll click on the Advanced Downloads. Here again, you can select your language, just click download, and then you get the option here, whether you want to, this is the 32-bit version, and this is the 64. So you just select the version that you want, and click next, and there it is, downloading. Now, one thing with the desktop version, any updates are not automatic. They are currently updating this on a monthly basis. It's usually towards the end of the month. So when there is an update, you will get, I'll just cancel that because we don't need that. Stopped. When there is an update and you go into your Power BI desktop, you'll get a little window that will pop up that will say an update is now available. What you'll need to do then is come back to the screen and do the process again of downloading the desktop version and doing a reinstall. Unfortunately, that's the only way at the moment, but it is very good in that it notifies you when you open Power BI if there's been an update since you last used that. With the Office 365 version, though, all the updates are automatic, so you don't need to do anything there. So once you've downloaded and you've run the program, you can then just go into your Power BI. So let's get that started there. Okay. So this is how it's like when what you get when you start. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to click on Get Data. Here you're prompted, as you can see, there is a wide range of sources for you to bring data in here, from the internet, from any cloud services, your desktop, Excel, but different file sources. So for tonight, I'm going to use the SQL Server database. and just click Connect. And in here, I am going to put my server name. Okay. Okay. So this is the file that I'm actually interested in, this one here. So I'll double click on there. And it gives me all the views and tables that I have in this database. And I know exactly which I'm going to use tonight. It's the table I'm interested. So if I just put TBL in there, obviously if your file names have table in the name, just filter them down to make it easier for you to find. And I'm interested in the companies. And where are you? Estimates. Okay. So I'm going to load those. It brings you the fields up. And I'm just going to ask it to import. If you go into direct query, that takes you into being able to do changes. But I'm going to go into that after the files have imported. One thing that I would like to mention, if you're using Office 2013, the first time you go into Power BI, you may get a message that you need to install the Microsoft Access Database Engine. I will post you the links into the chat once I've finished here. I'll let you have those links so that you have those just in case you need to download that. Okay, so you see now we've got the tables brought in here. This is the desktop version. You have all your toolbar across the top. And here down the side, this is the dashboard screen, which is where you're going to create all your graphs. This next tab takes you into the tables. So you can see the tables here that have come, that you've just imported. Now, one thing here it's great for being able to edit and manipulate the data that you've brought in. If I just go across here, we see, for example, I want this date field. As you can see, it's put in the date and the time. If you're just really interested in the date and you don't want to see the time, you can just go up to the top here, select the type. We'll just go for the date, and then we'll select here and change the format of the date. I'll go for this one. And as you can see there, it's quite easily changed the date for you. And you can just go across checking all your data. If, for example, you've got a lot of columns that it's brought in that you think, oh, I don't really need these in, let's say for here, I don't really need the company email for this, so I can just right-click and delete. And just delete that column. It doesn't delete the data from your original database, just here in this just in the Power BI table. So it's not affecting at all the data outside of Power BI. So let's see, that's the companies table. And then the estimates, I want to make sure the quote date is important to me. I want that just to show the date. So again, I'm going to go in and change the date format here. Okay, and I want to make sure that the figures that I've got in here for the estimate amount, I can even just click on there and it brings, and I can do filter here. If I type amount, there's nothing in there. Is it total? Total cost. That wasn't the field I was looking for. Just bear with me a moment. I just remember the estimate total. That's the one I want. So if I just put in here estimate, help if I could type there. That's the one I'm wanting. And if I just select that here, it automatically takes me to it. It's already there. Got the values in, and it's actually just showing it as current general here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to alter the format of here to currency and change it to English United States. Okay. And it puts me on 2 decimal places as a standard. If you don't want the decimal places, you can quite easily take those out just here. And the other thing you can do here, you can add columns and manipulate the data. If, say, for example, I will say when Power BI first came out, there wasn't much help with sorting your data into months based on the date, but now they've actually got a function in that it does it so easily with the date, which I'm going to show you. But before, what I had to do, I had to create a column and just put in the query in to detect what month it was from a particular date. So I'll just do an example of what I did there for a new column. And I just type in here, month equals, I'll just put month, and then whichever field I wanted, let's find a date one. Yeah, the quote date, close it, and hopefully, and there we are, and it returns me the month number. Or if I want the month number. And then again, so you can easily do queries here. This is DAX, the language that is used within Power BI. So if you are very familiar with Excel and doing queries and formulas in Excel, they're exactly the same here in Power BI. While we're in formatting, I'm going to show you one more in the table for companies. I'm going to be doing a map chart to show the location of the companies. Now, as you can see here, you have to excuse this data. This is just from a demo that we have, so the address details aren't all correct. But you see we have here the company, city, and the state. So what I want to do is I want to join these 2 fields together so that when I do the map, it'll be looking for Vero Beach in Florida and Lawrence in KS. So I'm going to add a new formula here. Just bear with me. I'm going to do a new column. And I'm going to type location equals company city, and make it tidy. I'll put a comma and a space in between the text, and company state. Okay. I know it's put some commas in there with fields that don't have data, but hopefully when you're working with real data, your databases are more up to date and correct. But you can see there that it's joined together the city and the state. And down here, There, it has created a new location. Now what I'm going to do with that, on the data category, I'm going to make it an address. Now for some reason that comes up, and it did this before for me, and all I did was I clicked onto another field, go back, try again, and there it's done it. It's changed it now to an address, and you'll see you get a graph sign here. So you know then that's a field that you can use for mapping in a graph. So now let's go on to this last one, which is the Relationships tab. I know I've only got two tables here, so there's not much data to show, but it does import, that's the beauty of it, it does import any relationships from your data. So if you've got an Access database and you're pulling in 5 or 6 different tables that have all got relationships, the relationships will also be included when you import them. If for any reason they're not, and you want to add a new one that wasn't in the database, you just go onto the Manage Relationships and create a new one. I'm going to create one that won't make any sense, but just to show you how to create it from our table companies, and I'm going to select the company ID in the table estimates, and then adjust that. I think that's the same one. Yeah, I've chose the same one that's already up. There already is a relationship between these two columns. So that's basically what you do. You select your first table, the field, and the second table and the other related field, and you just click OK. So I'll just come out of that. Okay, so now we've just gone through all the basics. You've got all your data there. You've done all your changes that you want to the database. I will point out, when you want to refresh the data, Power BI does remember which field, any columns that you've deleted or created, and it will leave it exactly the same. One other thing, if you have a database you work on and then you add another field to the database after it's been imported in here, it will import any new fields that are added. So if you make any changes to your database, add in extra data, you can come into Power BI, just the refresh button, which is here, just click on the refresh, and that refreshes your data. Now, that was one thing with the Power BI Pro. You can actually go into your settings here, and options and settings, and you can go into, I think it's in the options. Okay, there is, I haven't got it on here, but you do have an option for setting a specific time each day or how often you want the data refreshed, so that you don't have to keep clicking on the refresh button. But as I say, I'm just working with the free version here, so whenever I want to do a refresh, I just hit the refresh button and it updates the data with any changes that have been made to the database. Now here is where the visualizations are. There is a wide range of graphs available for you to use, and you can even install custom graphs. Let me show you if I can find the website for that. Because they're always adding things, people creating things. Power BI. I've forgotten what I've got a copy of the visuals. I don't know what it is. Okay, so here is the visuals, custom visuals that you can actually download and import to add extras. And I particularly like the slices, which I'm going to choose one. This one. Okay, so I'm going to download this visual. Just say I agree. And there it is, downloading. Can you all hear me all right, by the way? I'm just talking away here. I hope you can hear me fine. Okay, so that's downloaded. Now I'm going to go back to Power BI. And I'm just going to select Import from File. Import. And it should be in my downloads somewhere. There it is, the chiclet slicer. And open. Say OK. So there it is. There's the new visualization that I've just downloaded. So this one is actually a slicer that I'm going to use now. I'm going to use that slicer, and what I want it for is to work on the dates in the estimates. So I need if I just type in date here, it will show me all the dates that I've got, and I'm interested in the quote date. So I'm just going to select that. And you see here, it's put in all the years at the moment. We have a drop down here for drilling down, and if I click that, it's then changed to quarters and to months and to dates of the month. So that I am going to use for filtering through data that I add. So I'm just going to make this a bit smaller. Put it up there. Okay. And my first graph I'm going to create is going to be with the estimates. I want to know what estimates we've done this year. So I've gone to the estimates, and it's the total again that I wanted, the estimate total. So I can just select the total, and it's put it up there automatically in the graph, but it's just given me the whole total for all the estimates at the moment. I want it broken down by the month. I'm going to go down, and it was the quote date that I chose in the there we are. Now, it's put the data in there as years. If I now click onto here, and go down to quarter, it's supposed to change that, but it didn't. Let me do it on this one. Sorry, my error. There. If I click there, I've got the go to quarters. I can go one more click, and it's gone to the months. Now, I'm down to the months, but what it has done is given me all the figures for every year in January, every year in February. All I'm interested in, for example, is 2012. So I'm going to click on 2012, and it's just adjusted the figures there now. So here now I have a monthly breakdown for 2012 of the estimates that have gone that year. Again, from there, if I go up, I've got the quarters for that year. Okay, so now we've got a graph, we've got some data. We want to tidy it up a bit and make it a bit more interesting. So first of all, I don't like this heading that's here. So if we go on to the Format button here, click on the title. This shows me the title that's in there. Okay. And all I want it to say is estimate totals, for example. I can center the heading, and I can even change the colors of the title. So I'm actually going to make my text white and give me a background color of the blue to match. Okay, we can even, if you hover over one of these, you'll see it'll give you the total figure there for the month. If you want to have it, the graph with figures above, you can do that. Again on here, select the graph first. Go over here. And it is the y-axis. And the display y-axis is on the display. You can choose. Sorry. Data labels. That was the first one. I have to do that first. Switch on my data labels. And it should give me make the graph a bit bigger. It's given me data labels. What I was showing going into here on the y-axis, we can actually change those data labels to a different breakdown. So there it's on the thousands. So let's leave it on the millions. It looks a bit neater, not so many numbers about. And again then, if we filter up, it amends the totals to show you. And there, it's only showing me 2012 because that's all I've selected. If I now select another year, how do I do it? Yeah, holding the control button down, you can select a few different options. Okay. And then if you just click on one, it just selects that. Okay, so there we've got some figures for the estimates. Now what we can also do is we can throw in a nice card. So I'm going to do very similar again. The estimate total, select on a card version. And that is giving me the total of estimates for the year of 2012. Now if I go and select 2011, it's showing me the monthly breakdown for that month, and it's showing me the total of the estimates. Again, you can go into here, fancy, and make it a bit different. You can put in a title if you like. Oh, sorry, I'll just select that. If the graph isn't selected, if I go off, you see, you've got the settings here is for in the page. If you want to do changes to a particular graph, you've got to make sure that the graph is selected. And then you can go in and filter. The category label here, which is switched on, is this bit here. It's just basically the name of the field that you've used in there. So if you want to change that and put something better, you just take off the category label, switch on a title, and write in the title you want. Helps if I switch the title on. And then let's pick another colour. Unfortunately, we can't. It would be nice if they would put an update in where you can alter the font size. That may come. They're still working on many changes, but it would be nice if you could change the font size just to make that a bit more stand out a bit more. Okay, so another type of graph we're going to have a look at. Let's have a look at the the country. Remember the location field that I created in the companies? This one. I'm just going to select that, and it automatically knows that I want to do a map with it because I set it up earlier for a map. I'm just going to see if I can zoom in here. And I need to put some more information on there. That should be just location should just do it. Now, why is it not doing that? I should be getting spots all over here. And for some reason it's not done it. I know I've got all the data correct that I needed in here because I've done this before. And yes, that's typical, just to prove. This is a live version, it's not working. Yes, Ben, good idea. Let's just go for the company state. There we are. Thank you for that. So there we've got it showing up the states. So if I hover over one, and you get the states names coming up. Now the good thing with this now, if I click on this state, okay, we see then, I think that's New York that I was on, no, sorry, New Jersey. We see there above, you'll notice that this graph, the data is shaded in, and this shows us now all the estimates that went to New Jersey. So I can just come down here, click another one. There's not much for that state. There we are. And again, you see the estimates that have gone just to this state. So it's very interactive with all the graphs that you do. As you create more graphs, you'll see the data, how it works together, and it really gives you a visual look of how the business is doing. I mean, it's one thing to have a printed off graph with a printed off graph with a load of figures. You look at that and you're sort of like looking here and there, trying to add up the different graphs, work out which is the highest, the lowest, but actually seeing it in a visual, it just makes it so much easier to understand and see. You can see straight away there, yeah, June's done good, been a good month. Now and again, looking on your states, you know, which was the busiest time for estimates for this customer. So it's very good and informative for you. Let me just do one more graph for you, and we're going to see how the sales have done in a particular state. So again, I'm going to I want the state in here, and I'm going to do the tree map. We need some more information. So for that state, I want the estimate amount. And now it's grey like that because on this table I'm still connected on one. Take that out. If you select something, for example, if I go here and click on there, it's going to shade out everything on the other maps. So just to get that back, just click anywhere on that map. I just want to try and alter the size of this, if it will let me. Yeah, select. Okay, so then there you see, I've clicked on this state. And the one I wanted to show you with the location, that was you, it would have, if I'd used the city and the state, it would show you all of the companies in there. And now that it's, let me just try one more time. I'll onto this graph. Now that it's working with that, let me click on there, save that off. No, it didn't like it, so now we'll just stay on state. And again. There. And the map will just zoom in on the areas that you're working on. So it's pretty intuitive. And there are lots of other graphs you can try. We have, if you say, for example, on this graph, and you say, right, I don't really want, I'm trying to do, okay, let's go to this graph, and I want it to show everything there. And you decide, oh no, I want to see that in a different format. You can just click on any other graph, and it'll just automatically change it to the type of graph that you want to see. So you can just play around and use the different formats and graphs that there are. Line one doesn't work with that. Sometimes depending on what kind of data you've got. I know it's gone so crazy on me. But you have the undo button, which is another good benefit. If you click on something, you think, no, I didn't want to do that. There we are. So now that I've got the data there, I'll just show you here. I'm just going to leave it at these 3 graphs for tonight, but we have this button to add extra pages, so you can go in and create different graphs. Or, for example, I have one, let me see if I can find it, one that I worked on earlier. Just going to close that down. I don't need to save that, and I'm going to open this one. Okay, this message has come up across the top because I've used a custom visual. So I'm just going to say enable that, so it brings that up. So this is what I was starting on earlier. We've got the estimates. I've even included now here a table for orders. So if you click on here for the orders, and it actually shows you where those estimates came from. Here now I can show you better with the graph. This is the one I used the location on. And if I now click on Florida, for example, that zooms in and it shows me all my companies in Florida and the locations. Then on this second page, I did another graph here. This is showing the invoices and payments received. And again with the filter so that you can go through the months, through the years, sorry, and get a breakdown. Now, you can change the names of the pages. That's to duplicate if you want to duplicate. And all you do is just double click on there, and I'm going to say that financial. Make that one financial. So I do all my reports here relating to invoices and payments. And this one, let's just call that estimates. So you can really adapt it. You just click on this plus sign to create another page, and you can carry on creating other graphs. So once you've got your graphs ready, you've got it on your desktop. Now what you want to do is you want to share it with other people within your company. So as I say, if you've got an Office 365 account, you can use the cloud version of the Power BI, and you can share all this information with other people in your company. So I'm going to just click on the Publish button. You want to save changes? Yeah, let's save that. And let's publish. Okay, it's now publishing the data to Power BI in the cloud. It's saying there's already one there with that name and you just click replace. Say for example, you desktop version and you're changing it on a weekly basis and you need to update it with the cloud. You just publish it and save it with the same name as before, and it'll just overwrite the data. It should just take a few minutes. So while that's going, I'm just going to open up the microphones for now just to see if any of you have any questions. Okay, so are you all enjoying this so far? Are you learning anything?
Yeah, very interesting.
Thank you.
Can you print? Go printer?
No, I have. Let's try that. You know, I've never actually printed, so I haven't seen anything on that. Let me check for you. This is taking a long while to publish. I'm just going to cancel that for now. Let's see, file. No. That. I will check on that. It would be nice to have that feature, but it doesn't look to be here yet.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just going to mute again. I'm going to carry on, show you the cloud version, and then we'll go.
And what sort of format is it saved in, such as PDF?
No, it's saved as PBIX. If I go save as...
Is it possible to save it at all as a PDF?
I believe so. No, let's see. I'm trying to try all files. No. But I have the way I did it as a PDF once, because I wanted to try do that. I did a screenshot. And then just with the image of the sheet, I put that into a PDF as an image. I'm sure later on there's going to be more changes come in, and hopefully that will be something included. It would be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me just carry on now. Okay, so now we've uploaded this. Let me try again. Say replace. Okay, no, I'm sorry. This should have uploaded by now. It shouldn't take this long. So I think it could be because of the WebEx session going at the same time. So I'm just going to cancel that. I've already got it in the cloud, so I can just go in and start a new window. I'm going to log into my account. And why am I not there? Oh, I know. See. Why didn't that work? That's better. Okay, so now that I'm in my Office 365, I'm just going to click here above and select the Power BI. Once you've logged into Power BI on the, as I showed you earlier, on the powerbi.microsoft.com website, once you've logged in there with your Office 365 account, that's when you should appear here, the Power BI tile. So I'm going to go onto this dashboard. This is the one that I created, and I first come here Okay, so this is enable the custom. Okay, so this is how it looks once I've published it to Power BI. What I want to do then is to share it with other people. So you need to have it on a dashboard. I'm going to create a new dashboard for this. So you just click on this pin here and pin to a dashboard. I'm going to create a new dashboard. Okay, and just pin that. I get a message here, it's being pinned there. And I'm going to do that with a couple of these. And again here. Okay, you don't need to show all of the graphs, pin all of the graphs, just the main ones that you want to show. And then you get a little yellow star at the side of the tile, the dashboard name, so you can see that it's a new one. And I'm going to click on there. And this shows me now just the tile. This is just like an image print of the graph that I've created. I can't do any work with that. Sorry, go back to it. I can't do any clicking and getting any response from these tiles like I did on the desktop version. But if you just click on a tile, and it'll take you to the report version down here, and now you can be interactive. I'll just enable the custom. Now they become interactive again as you collect on the data. Now, because I did this in the desktop, I don't get the tables. Don't get the tables here just showing any filters that you've created for the data. So once you put this up into Power BI and you share it with other people, they cannot make changes to the dashboard. They can look, they can play about with the data, get more information, get the information they want, like I'm showing you here, but they can't actually alter your graphs, or add new graphs. If I go up to the dashboard now, this is the new dashboard I've created. I now want to share this with somebody, so I'm just going to right-click on the dashboard and just click the share button. Then I will put in an email address of someone I want to share the dashboard with. It's added them there. You can allow the recipients to share the dashboard, so Ben can go on and share this dashboard with other people. Okay, and just click share. So then Ben will receive an email saying that I've shared a dashboard with him, and he can then go in through his Office 365 and view this dashboard. They have a question section where you can ask questions of the data to get results. Okay, so I'm just going to type estimate totals. Let's see if this works for 2012. Okay, and I do not believe that is the total for 2012, so it could be something, but that is how it works. I just put estimate totals. I reckon that's the whole total, yeah, for the estimates. So, estimates created in May. And it just pulls back information from the data. I mean, there it's just given me by customer. I know that's not a very informative graph, but it's just to give you some idea of how it works with the data and pulling in information. Okay, so I'm just going to come out of there and go back to the dashboard. Now, down here I should have, here it is, in the Datasets tab, this is where I have all the data for the dashboard that I created in the desktop version. I can edit it myself here. I've got the data here. I want to license it, bring in. Okay, for some reason it's not pulled in, but I should have the graphs here, just as it was on the desktop version, and be able to bring the data in. Sorry about that. I don't know why it's not done that, but let's just say, for example, to show you again, you can create your graphs here too. So if you've just got the Office 365 Power BI version, this is where you'd come into the data sets, and you'd click here, get data, and you pull your data in again here. Okay, just save that first. Cancel. Don't bother saving that. Okay, just save that so it doesn't get out. Okay, so if you're working with Power BI in the Office 365 only and not the desktop version, this is what you'd click on to get data to create a dashboard. And as you can see, you can choose from files on your computer, databases, connect to live data. So we'll go on to this one, get, and it gives you all areas where you can get data. So if I go on to files, if you want something from your OneDrive, from your current PC, you just click onto one of these and you can go ahead then and browse and look for the data that you need. Okay, so I'm just going to open up the mics now. When I learn how to work this on yourself. Okay, so does anybody have any questions at all?
The dashboard saved to a local and published to a local server, or must you have a 365 account?
Sorry? I didn't quite catch that. Must you have a 365 account, you said?
Yeah, or can you publish to a local server and share it from that server?
Yes, you can. So say, for example, if you haven't got a 365 account, I'm just going to reduce this. There. Okay, so I'm back into my desktop. And what you can do, you can just save the dashboard. You can go in and save it, save as, and you can save it here then to your local server, and then anybody else can access that dashboard. But they would need to install the desktop, the Power BI desktop on their computer too.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Ben, did you want to say anything?
Oh, yes. There's two more messages I wanted to add. From seeing how visual it is, it really looks great. And people are going to say they really want that in Access. And so I do have one program that can link, that I can send to you the link for. And I've posted it in the chat. And if you click on that link, then you'll go to a location where there's a user voice to where you can offer it to different ones and get different improvements, enhancements, and to add Power BI accessibility. And you can sign in and join in with it, and if people like that idea, to see what potential future enhancements, if everyone chooses to want that. So then another one I can show you in connection with Power BI. A second suggestion is similar to that. If people want to join in and are wondering where is it published, then they can go to this site and get the recommendation there on Power BI. So I would encourage everyone to use these two links that people can provide information of what they would like.
Okay, thank you for that. I just put in the link for the Power BI site for downloading and for where to get the data. Let's have a look at this one that you've just sent, Ben. I mean, Power BI, they're doing so many changes with it each month. I mean, when I first started using it, it came out in July this year. I mean, I know we've had Power Pivot originally with Excel, but it was July this year that Power BI came out. And at first when it came out, I was wanting to connect to an Access database and create my graphs there. But then I found when I put in the Access database, I wasn't able to refresh. So what I did then, I had to do a query to pull my data, what I needed from the Access, into Excel, and then import from Excel to Power BI, which wasn't too bad actually, because I just had to rerun the queries each week, and then just refresh the data, and it got my information there. But now they've updated, and I can actually connect direct to my Access database. And what I've done with that, because in my database I had various tables and I needed bits of data from each table, I just ran a few queries to gather the information all together into one table and just bring it in. So when I'm connected to the data through the Power BI, I was actually connecting to a query rather than a table. And how can we improve Power BI? Yeah, I will certainly be posting in here the idea for the PDF and printing. And hopefully they'll make those changes. So yeah, as I say, it's a great source for visualizing your data, and it helps companies to act quick. They can be updated, and with the mobile application as well, you can have. I've never actually used it myself, but I understand that you can see your dashboards on your mobile and be out on the road and see exactly what's going on with your business and where it is. I couldn't imagine, though, that you could have your dashboards too cluttered for the mobile version.
I don't think it'd be too safe to be checking your dashboard while you're driving.
No, definitely not. No, not while you're driving, no. So, okay, so any other questions? Or is there anything you want me to go over?
Thank you for an excellent presentation.
Thank you very much. This is my first presentation, so hope it went well.
Yes, it went very well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Good job.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
thank you for letting us all see it.
You're welcome. Well, you can reach me at Lucy at AccessUserGroups.org. So if after this meeting and you're trying out Power BI, you come across something you're not sure how to do it, please feel free to send me an email and I'll be happy to help you out.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the presentation.
You're welcome. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a wonderful evening.